Thinkers, welcome to the Data Structures in Python course on thinkexacademy.com. In this video, we are going to basically start with the graph data structure. Graph data structure is very important because it is used in a variety of places and it has a lot of applications in the IT industry as well. So if you are going to apply for interviews, this topic is very important because it is going to come in the interviews a lot of times. So let's start with the graph data structure. Let's see what exactly is a graph data structure. The first important point that I will write here is that graph is a non-linear data structure, right? So it is a non-linear data structure. So far in this course, in this data structures course, we have already discussed a lot of data structures. Like we have studied about binary trees, linked list, stacks, queues. All these data structures are actually, they just contain data, right? So let's assume a binary tree. So here I'm going to draw a very simple binary tree, and let's suppose we have some linked list also, right? So these data structures we have already studied about them in detail. Now these contain only data, right? So I'm going to write here a very important point which differentiates them from the graph data structure. They contain only data. What type of data? It could be any type of data. It could be integers or characters or anything like that. But a graph data structure is very important because it not only contains the data, it also contains the relationships between the data, right? So here I'm going to write a very important point, which is relationships among data. So now let's assume a situation, right? I'm going to assume a very simple situation here. Let's say there is a very popular problem which we are going to discuss here, which is a traveling salesman problem, right? Which will come in a lot of interviews. We're not going to cover the whole problem, but here I will give you a gist of what exactly and where exactly you can use this whole data structure. So traveling salesman problem is very simple. It says that there is a salesman, and this salesman is actually, he wants to travel from one city to another to actually do the sales work, which is to actually sell something, some stuff like that. Now let's assume there are 5 cities, I'm going to say, which is A, B, C and D. And there are some distances between these cities. From A to B there is some distance, from B to C there is some distance, and we will have to find out how exactly the salesman will be able to reach from let's say city A to city D in the shortest path and all of that stuff. So here graph data structure comes, and it is very important. This data structure is used to find the shortest path also, right? So there are wide range of applications. Now let's understand what exactly this second point that I have written here, which is relationship among data, means. Now here you can see we have 4 different cities. Let's draw these 4 cities here, which is city A, city B. Let's assume this is city number C and this is some city D, right? So these are actually cities. And what I want to do is, all of these cities has some distance. Now obviously these cities are data because they are the names of these cities. One important thing is, if we will not choose a graph data structure, if we will just concentrate on data structures like linked list and binary trees, basically we can connect them. Let's say I want to connect them using a binary tree. What we can do is we can connect like this. So A is the parent node of B and C, and let's say D is a child node of C. So this is a kind of binary tree, right? I'm going to visualize this something like this. So this is A, this is B, this is C, and here comes D, right? So a similar representation. Now the thing is, if I want to connect B to D, I can connect here, but I cannot connect here B to D. And there is one more which is important thing, which is relationships. Relationships is important because in most data, some data is actually related to some other data. For example, city A is connected to city B, but there is a relationship which is the distance. Let's say 5 kilometer is the distance between city A to city B. In these types of data structures, which is the binary trees, the linked list, they won't work, right? So in that we are actually going to need the graph data structure. Now, how a graph data structure looks like and how can we convert this problem into a data structure? So a graph data structure contains a set of vertices and edges, right? So a set is represented by curly brackets. So this is some graph G. Let's call this graph G, and it has vertices and edges which are represented by V, right? So V is the vertices, right? Or I should say set of vertices, which I can represent something like this. Let's say we have vertex 1, then 2, then 3, and so on. The second one, which is the important one, is the edges. Edges are basically used to connect the vertices, right? So edges basically connect the vertices. Both of these, which is vertices and edges, they make a graph a data structure. So let's see at this position. Here you can see A, B, C, D are actually the vertices of this graph, which is like this: A, B, C and D. Now let's see what are the edges. So you can see we have an edge that goes from A to B, which has data 5. So 5, AB is a vertex, AB is an edge here. Then we have BD. So BD is again another edge. Then we have DC, and then we have CA. So in this fashion, we can actually represent a graph. A graph contains of two very important things, which is vertices and edges. And these edges can also have some values, right? So I'm just going to write here values. These can actually have some values. For example, in this case, the distance was the actual values. Here we can have different values. Now basically there are different types of graphs available. So the first, we are going to different two classes of graph, which is actually the undirected and the directed graph, right? So we have these two graphs, which is undirected and directed. Now if we want to show the relationships among data, what we can do is we can use a directed graph to do so. For example, we can say that you can only travel from from city A to B, but you cannot travel from city B to city A. So this arrow represents that. Now let's say you can move from this place to this place, then you can use a double arrow. So this is a directed graph. If we provide directions from vertices to vertices, this is known as a directed graph. Undirected graph is a graph in which we do have vertices, we also have edges, but we do not have any specific direction. So here we can have AB and BA as well. So here if we talk about undirected, we can have both the directions. There is no restriction, but in directed we have a specific direction. For these types of data graph, graphs, we have different set of problems which we will cover in this data structure series also. Now let's see how we can represent a graph data structure in programming, right? The first way is to use adjacency matrix. The first way, which is the easiest way, is to use a matrix which is a adjacency matrices. This is actually a 2D array. So what the idea is very simple. If you want to represent a graph, what you need to do is, let's say you have 4 vertices. So you will create a 2D matrix of size which is 4 by 4, which is something like this. And here I am going to basically create a matrix here which will have 4 by 4 places. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 places here, and we have 4 rows as well, right? So we will create a 2D matrix like this, and we know that we can use the positions to actually specify each and every position in a matrix. We know that the position of rows start from 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we have 0, 1, 2, 3. Now we have 4 vertices here, A, B, C, D, and we have this matrix. Let's see how we can represent this graph using this matrix, right? So we can we can create a directed as well as undirected graph from using this matrix. We are going to fill this matrix with zeros and ones, right? 0 represents that there is no edge from a particular vertex to another vertex. So since we have a 4 by 4 matrix, the first row will represent A, and this will represent B, this position represents C, and then we have D here. And similarly for columns also we have A, B, C and D like this. So let's take a look at this first position, which is here. This position is 0 to 0. 0 to 0 means A to A. Now there is also one more possibility, which is there may be a case where A is related to itself. It will happen only in a directed graph. So if there is actually this type of self direction, we call it that now here, since there is a direction, so we have a cycle which goes from A and it also ends at A. So this is going to, I am going to assign it as 1. Now consider A to B. Now there is a direction from A to B and you can see it is 1. So I can actually write it as 1. Now what I can do is from B to D, right? So just find B to D. So B is here, D is here, just find the intersection, which is this one. I will write it 1 here. Then from D to C, so D is here and C is here. So this is the position. I will again mark it as 1. Then final one is C to A. So C is here, A is here. I will mark it as 1. All the other positions I am going to mark them as 0 because we do not have any directions in all those cases. Right? So now you can see how we can represent a whole graph data structure using a simple matrix, and this is how we feed the data in the matrix. One important thing is, if you have a magnitude, for example here from A to B, I know the magnitude is 5. Instead of using 0 and 1, you can even fit the data here. So instead of putting 1 here, I can also put 5 here. Since we also have a direction from B to A, I will write this should be also 5. So I will write 5 here. So in this manner, we can construct a graph data structure. There is a second way also. The second way is also very easy, and it is actually going to be an adjacency list. And we will discuss why these two different approaches, what are the benefits of using one of these approaches. We will discuss that. The first thing about adjacency list is that here we are going to actually use a list type of data structure, which is linked list, to represent a data structure, a graph data structure. Now the way to do is, I am going to create a list for 0, which is for the vertex A, which is in our example, and here I will just create this, and then what I will do is, the next node is B, so I'm just going to create another node which is connected to B, right, and I will feed the data here. And similarly, if we have direction from B to A, what I can do is I can create a circular linked list also, right? So we have many other options, but mainly we used a list structure to actually connect all the dots one by one. So we want to connect the vertices, we will connect them one by one using these types of node data structure. So for similarly for B, I can do that also. I will create a node, I will create a next pointer, and we will do it again and again unless all the nodes which are connected to B are inside of this list, right? So for each node we are actually going to maintain a list. This is the second method. Let's see what are the advantages and disadvantages here. Now in the case of adjacency matrix, if we want to update a particular value, it will take the time complexity of big O of 1, because we can access any position by just supplying, let's say this is the matrix M, and let's say I want to update the value of A to B. So what I can just do is A is represented as 0 and B is represented as 1. So I can just update it to, let's say, 10 kilometers. So that's very easy in case of matrix, but in case of linked list we will first have to just traverse through this linked list one by one, and this is the main reason it will give a time complexity of big O of n, right? So these are two things. The second thing, which is a disadvantage of adjacency matrix, is the space complexity. So obviously you can see there are so many zeros here which are unnecessarily occupying the space, and that's the main you can say the time complexity, sorry, the space complexity will be not big O of something, it will be basically n by n, so n square. But here in this case we have a space complexity of n only. So there are two different approaches and you will have to know which approach to use. For example, if you have vertices which where most of the columns or most of the positions are going to be filled with some data, you can use a adjacency matrix. But if you have a matrix with so many zeros, then it is actually recommended to use a list. Such type of matrix is known as a sparse matrix, right, or a sparse array, which I am going to write here. So in this way we can implement the matrices and adjacency, and in Python we are going to implement this data structure, but we are not going to use any of these two. We are going to use a third approach which I really found very interesting, which is to use dictionaries in Python. So first of all, I have created a dedicated video on dictionaries in Python. You can watch that in the Python playlist or in the Python course, and there you will be able to understand about dictionary. That's basically all for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe our channel and hit the notifications bell so that you will be able to get all the notifications whenever we will launch a new tutorial. So thanks for watching.